Welcome back to the game, everyone. This is Robert, continuing our turn. I am about to start things up as the Overlord, but as I've been doing in this game so far, I'm kind of using the beginning of the Overlord's segment to make final adjustments and clarifications to anything that needs to be done before we move on. One thing I want to address here is the use of the power potion by Ashrian. I believe this was the original role, and she was attacking a Master Etten that had 3 damage on him. With 8 health, she needed to do 5 damage to kill him. This was the role, and with Pierce 1, canceling 1 shield, that's 4, and 4 versus 4, no damage. So, kind of trying to follow the spirit of what they were doing, which was trying to deal as much damage to the Etten as possible. I sort of thought that they might want to try to use the power potion just to see if they could get anything better than that. But that's a very aggressive, big gamble. What could have happened? Well, if the player had re-rolled the dice and just been super lucky, maybe they could have gotten something like that. And what would that have done? Well, the 2 surges help. Combining the regular Pierce 1 with a surge of Pierce 1 would cancel these 2 shields. Remember, it doesn't do extra damage, it just cancels or you ignore shields. Well, then what have you got left? You've got 3 damage here versus these 3 shields, so those would cancel. So this is pretty much what you're left with. You've got 2 damage plus a surge, and that would do a total of 4. So that could have dropped the Etten down to 1 health left. 4 plus the other 3 is 7, with a total health of 8. It could have gotten him almost down to 0. Not quite. It would have been impossible to kill the Ogre there. The Etten there, sorry. So, it was a huge gamble, and a very aggressive and almost wild move to try to re-roll those dice and get that result. So since I think that I personally pushed that a little more than the player would have normally, we had a very honest talk, and he said if that was the defense roll, he probably would have saved this to counter something like just a direct miss. And I think that's a more, conservative and cautious approach, and I think that's actually the better thing to do. So using that power potion, I think, was more of a gamble and an aggressive move on my part, and not really one that player would have made. So what I want to do is go back to the original roll. It's not going to change anything as far as the outcome of what happened. We're going to go back to the original roll, which didn't do any damage, and I'm going to give this power potion back to Ashrian. Because like I said, that was more my decision than it was the players. And I want to respect players' decisions and approaches to the game. So we're going to do that. It's not going to unbalance a thing. And we'll continue on. The next adjustment comes with the Militiamen. And remember, these little adjustments like this, it's just part of the way I think things have to go. We're not all around the table together or playing through Skype or Google Hangout. We have to sort of do the best we can and then sort of clean things up and fix anything at the end before we move on. So it's no big deal to me. I am enjoying the game, and I hope that you are too. The Militiaman, it was stated that he would move 3 spaces west, and to keep sort of line of sight open for the Widow of Tara, I moved him here. But the players have said they might want to have him move down and try to take a shot at a zombie. But there's one other thing. The declaration said move him 3 spaces west, but I just double-checked. The Militiaman has a speed of 4. It's right there. So if they want him to take a shot, let's move him 1 more space diagonally here, like this. And that's going to get him even closer to zombie number 1. So if he's going to take a shot, what are we going to need for range? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to need a 5. We're going to at least need at least 5 on the die roll for range. And it is a ranged attack, which is great. The blue and yellow. Alright, it is a long shot, but zombies are only going to get the brown die, and it's not very good. I think the best it can come up with is a 2. And there's, what, 3 blank spaces, so there's a chance. Let's see what happens. Hey, look at that. We got 6 on the range. Look at that. Okay, so we've got 1 shield. I don't think the Militiaman had any way to spend surges, did he? Not that I see. So I guess those surges go to waste. But we've got the range is there. We've got 2 damage, 1 shield. So one of those will be canceled. Let's just take that one out. Looks like 1 damage to the zombie. And with a health of 3, well, that upset him a little bit, didn't it? So using my little dungeon command counters here, we're just going to put that wound marker under zombie number 1 like that, just to indicate that that zombie has taken 1 point of damage. Nice shot. I thought it would be neat if he could take him out entirely, but he's doing the best he can, so nice contribution there by the Militiaman. Well, one of the final things I need to do is to allow Sir Palamon to attempt to rally more troops. And let's see if he can do that. Like before, we're going to be testing this attribute. Rolling the black and the gray die, we need 4 shields or less for him to be successful. Black and the gray. Here we go. Wow, great call. Sir Palamon is successful. Well, the first thing that happens is I'm supposed to put a fatigue token on Sir Palamon, but that's actually a good thing. And that fatigue token is a counter representing that a new Militiaman has arrived to help out in the battle. So remember our victory conditions when Sir Palamon has 5 fatigue tokens on him, or all master monsters, including Alric, are defeated, the players will win. Alright, it's time for me to get mean here. I need to draw a new Overlord card that gives me 3. And I'm allowed to do some sort of reinforcement. So I think it's time to bring another master creature onto the board. Let's bring our master ogre back. Alright. We'll put him right there. Back in the game. Okay, I guess the first monster group I'll activate are my little zombies here. And let's see. Let's pan over that way. We've got zombie number 1 with the arrow in his thigh. Why don't we have him take, what do you think, maybe 1 step this way. And from there, still adjacent to Sir Palamon, he's going to make his attack. So, zombie number 1 attacks with the blue and the yellow. Sir Palamon gets a gray and brown. So here it goes. We've got 1 on the defense. Some decent damage there, actually. 1, 2, 3 points of damage. Well, those are going to cancel each other. 1 shield, 1 point of damage. So 2 points of damage and a surge. And the surge can do +1 damage. Question here. We actually broke through Sir Palamon's defense, and we've got disease. Well, what does disease do? Let's take another look at that. If this attack deals at least 1 damage after the defense roll, the target is disease. Well, here's disease. Well, can't keep the card in my hand. Let's take another one. It says, at the start of your turn, test your willpower, and if you pass, discard this card or token. If you fail, you suffer 1 fatigue and keep this card or token. Well, I mean, if we just go straight by the rules, we don't want to do that, because that's going to be adding fatigue tokens to Sir Palamon, and when Sir Palamon gets, 5, then the players win the game. So that can't be right. I've been looking for an answer for this. Some players, actually a number of players that I've read, said that they just treat him like a militiaman and he ignores conditions. The disease doesn't do anything to him. And some others have said it's more like a, I guess it's more like a familiar. Around the fatigue and stamina, not exactly in the familiar section, but it says here, if it's a hero, they suffer fatigue, and it's beyond their stamina level, they take damage instead. Monsters do not have a stamina value, and Sir Palamon does not have a stamina value. And if they suffer any amount of fatigue, it suffers that amount of damage instead. That's another interpretation that says that Sir Palamon, if he's diseased and doesn't pass his willpower test, he's going to suffer damage instead. I tend to think that that's probably the way to go. At first I thought he would be like a militiaman and just ignore that. But I've had some other people suggest to follow the second method, and I've also read that other people playing the game follow the second method. As far as I know, there's no official answer out there. I just know that just following it straight by the rules, it doesn't make sense for this adventure. So I say he gets to test, and if he doesn't make it, he's going to be diseased. And since he doesn't have a stamina value like other monsters, he's going to take damage. So we're going to say that's 2 points of damage to Sir Palamon, taking him down to 20 hit points. And we're going to use that surge to disease him. So I'll put that little token there. We're getting a nice little stack going. So we'll move on to zombie number 2. Or should I do number 3? I'm trying to think about what to do with movement and what's the best thing to do. Why don't we move this zombie around? We'll have him sort of shamble over here, and zombie number 2 will attempt his attack. Alright, same dice. One more time here. I swear, I need fingernails. Bad defense roll for Sir Palamon, and a decent attack roll for the zombie. That's going to be 3, and we don't want to disease him again, so we'll do +1 damage. So 4 damage from the zombie. Wow, I'm kind of surprised by that. So that's going to go from 20 down to 16. And let's see, we have one more zombie here. Zombie number 3. Zombie number 3. What should we do with zombie number 3? Well, why don't we move him down 1 space as well. I really don't know if any of this is doing any good. But we'll move him there, and we'll let zombie number 3 attack. Better defense roll, 2 shields, that's going to cancel that one. So we got 1 damage and 1 surge. Let's do +1 damage. So 2 points of damage, another 2 gets through. So that takes from 16 down to 14. And I don't think at this time I want the zombies to move anymore. I could move zombie 3 somewhere, but I think I'm going to keep him there. if they can stay kind of clustered, I think, around Sir Palamon, if that blast attack is ever used, it might be better to be adjacent to Sir Palamon so that he might suffer some damage as well. Alright, so we'll keep him there, 14 health for Sir Palamon, and we'll move on to the next monster group. Well, let's see what Sir Alaric Pharaoh can do. With a speed of 3, we'll have him move 1, 2. Let's have him move there. And he's adjacent, and we'll give him his attack action now. So, making his attack, we're going to be using the blue and the red, Sir Palamon, gray, and brown. Just checking here. What do we have? Overpower. And then this one. What does Overpower do again? You use it as a move action. Okay. Causes some fatigue, so he kind of pushes people around. Alright, well, let's go with the attack. Doing damage to Sir Palamon is the name of the game right now. Bad, well, let me zoom out so you can see. Bad defense roll. Got nothing there. No surges. 4 more damage. Wow. So that takes him down to 10. And I think he's done. Move action, attack action, next monster group. Alright, well, let's activate our buddies, the Ogres, next. Let's start with the Minion Ogre. Bad news for the Minion Ogre. He's activating while next to Astrion. And let's take a look at her hero ability. When a minion monster begins its activation adjacent to you, it is stunned. So there we have it. Well, starting off as stunned, all he can do is take an action to shake it off. So, first action, we're going to remove the stun card. Second action, yes, we could attack, but let's move. We'll try something here. We're going to move, squeeze by here. 1, 2. We're going to fill up this space. And yes, that puts us in attack range, but we don't have any other actions for that ogre right now. But we're going to keep him there for the moment. And let's activate our Master Ogre. Speed of 3. 1, 2, 3. And ogres. Unlike the Ettins, ogres do not have reach. So I can't reach Astrion. So let's continue to move. We can move diagonally here. We're going to sandwich Astrion into the hallway. So I know it's difficult to see her, but she's right there. And let me see if I can give you another point of view. There she is. Looks like she's got a square open to her to the southwest. That's rubble over there. The figures are blocking movement north and south, so that's about all the wiggle room she has right now. Okay, one monster group left. We have our Master Ettin. And let's take a look. He's right there. He's adjacent to Sir Palamon. That's Sir Palamon there with the fatigue token and the diseased token on him. So, I guess I won't worry about movement, but I need to do something else as I'm activating our Ettin here. I'm going to play Frenzy. We play this when activating the monster, and they can make 2 attacks. Normally monsters can only make 1. So with the Master Ettin, Sir Palamon at 10 hit points. This is kind of bad news for the heroes. Attack number 1. Ouch. That was a 1. Well, 4, 5, 6, 7 if I activate the surge. 7 points of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. 1 negated. So that's going to make it 6 points of damage. That hurts. Sir Palamon drops from 10 to 4. Wow. Let's keep going. Attack number 2. Two on the defense roll. 3 damage. I'm the Overlord, right? Dark Might. Add a surge. Play this card after you roll the dice. So, let's say that this 2 is canceled by these. And that's going to be a surge to make that 3, 4. Uh-oh. 4 points of damage to Sir Palamon. That kills him. He's dead. Well, damage was done equal to his health. And just in case there are any questions, I actually had even another card I was going to play. It's the last card in my hand, and it was a brutal one. It was called Blood Rage. I would play this at the end of my turn and choose a monster, and that monster would perform 2 attack actions. I was going to have the Master Etten pound on him 2 more times. So I think this is a clear victory this time for the Overlord. As the Aged Knight collapses to the ground, the Overlord's minions turn and retreat. Our work here is done. The Overlord wins. Well, win or lose, each player receives 1 experience point. And if the Overlord wins, he receives 1 additional XP. Well, guys, my board is kind of a mess. But Sir Palamon was dropped and defeated. Good game. That was a tough one for the heroes to win. I've heard that about this particular quest, especially if you have a bunch of zombies around him. So it was a valiant effort. You even had some more help on the way, but just weren't able to take down that Master Etten. That was why I thought the gamble of using the power potion might be worth it, but even if we had kept it as it was, it wouldn't have made a difference here. So good try, good game. I think right now that puts the players at 1 win for the First Blood quest, and then I think this technically counts as an Overlord victory overall for quest number 2. So kind of tied up now, 1-1. Thanks for joining me for the game. I certainly enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And guys on Facebook, thank you so much for playing with me like this. And I hope you'll join me again sometime in the future. Take care, everybody, and thanks for watching